If you've been feeling a little off balance lately, or your vision just isn't as clear and sharp as it used to be, what if the cause wasn't your legs or even just your eyes? What if the real problem was the connection between them? Today, we are going to reveal a simple 5-second trick that you can do every day to help reactivate that vital connection between your eyes, your brain, and your body. Welcome back to Healthier Daily, the channel where we give you the simple, science-backed truths to live a stronger and more independent life after 60. I'm your host, Dr. Ben Carter, and to help us understand this profound connection, we are joined by a physician who has always seen the body not as a collection of separate parts, but as a whole interconnected system. It is our great honor to welcome Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara.
Thank you, Ben. It is a pleasure to be here. In Japan, we do not see vision loss as just an eye problem or poor balance as just a leg problem. We see them as a whole body signal. It is a message that the nervous system is slowing down and that the beautiful relationship between our senses and our muscles is becoming out of sync. We must not just get stronger glasses. We must retrain this relationship.
And that is exactly what our guide is about today. Dr. Hinohara is going to walk us through his 3-step daily neurotraining protocol. These are 3 simple, quick exercises that are designed to rebuild the bridge between your sight and your movement, improving both your vision and your balance at the same time. It's a true blessing to have this wisdom to understand the intricate way our bodies were designed and to know that we can play an active role in our own healing. If you are ready to retrain your brain for better vision and better balance, please type the number 1 in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to our channel. It's completely free, and this information is so empowering. Okay, doctor, let's get right into your 3-step daily neurotraining protocol. This is so exciting because these are things people can do right away in their own homes. What is the very first step, the one you call the eye muscle workout?
The first technique is called the near-far focus shift. It may sound very simple, but for aging eyes and an aging brain, it is one of the most effective and important exercises we have. To begin, you can simply hold your thumb up about 8 inches or about 20 centimeters in front of your face, right at the level of your nose. If you prefer, you can use a pen or any other small object. First, you will focus your eyes intently on your thumb for 5 full seconds. Really try to see all the details. Then, without moving your head, you will shift your gaze to a distant object across the room, perhaps a clock on the wall, a picture frame, or a tree outside your window. You will hold your focus on that distant object for another 5 seconds. Then you bring your focus back to your thumb. You repeat this gentle back and forth movement for just 1 minute each day. This exercise may seem very simple on the outside, but it can be life-changing. I had a patient, a 76-year-old man, who was an avid bird watcher. It was his greatest passion in his retirement. He came to me because he was becoming very frustrated. He told me that when he would look down at his field guide to identify a bird, and then quickly look back up at the tree where the bird was, his eyes could no longer refocus in time. By the time his vision became clear again, the beautiful bird had often flown away. He told me he felt like he was losing his connection to nature because his eyes were too slow. We had him start this simple 1-minute exercise every single morning as part of his routine. After just 3 weeks of this consistent practice, he came back to my office with a renewed sense of excitement. He told me that his eyes felt quicker and more responsive. He was able to shift his focus from his book to the bird and the tree much more smoothly and quickly. That simple 1-minute exercise gave him back his passion.
That is a fantastic story, and it perfectly illustrates the science behind this exercise. What your patient was experiencing is a very common part of the aging process. Inside your eye, there is a tiny ring-like muscle called the ciliary muscle. This amazing little muscle is responsible for changing the shape of your eye's lens, which is what allows you to focus on things at different distances. It is essentially the autofocus muscle of your eye. Just like any other muscle in your body, if you do not use it through its full range of motion, it can become weak, stiff, and slow. For many of us who spend a lot of time reading or looking at computers or phone screens, we are keeping that ciliary muscle locked in one position, focused on something up close for hours at a time. This is why our ability to quickly shift our focus, a process called visual accommodation, declines as we get older. The study you mentioned from the Journal of Vision Research confirmed that this decline is often due to this disuse. This simple near-far exercise is like physical therapy for your eye muscles. You are gently forcing that ciliary muscle to fully contract when you look at your thumb and to fully relax when you look at the far wall. This strengthens the muscle, improves its flexibility, and makes that autofocus function of your eyes much faster and more efficient. Now I have a few practical questions that I know our viewers will be asking. First, doctor, for the distant object, does it matter what they focus on?
It does not have to be anything specific, but it is best if the object is at least 10 to 20 feet away, or about 3 to 6 meters. The goal is to make the eye muscles work, to change their focus significantly. A picture frame on the far wall of your living room is a perfect target.
And what about glasses? This is a big question. Should people do this exercise with their glasses on or off?
That is an excellent question. It is generally best to do this exercise without your glasses on if you can do so safely and without causing a lot of eye strain. This forces the muscles inside your eye to do all of the work themselves without the help of the external lens. Of course, if you cannot see your own thumb clearly without your glasses, then it is perfectly fine to do the exercise with them on.
It is truly amazing to think about the intricate design of these tiny muscles within our eyes. It's a blessing to know that we have been given these simple ways to care for them and to keep them strong. So the near-far focus shift is a powerful workout for the small muscles inside the eye, helping them to focus more quickly. But doctor, you said in the beginning that vision and balance are deeply connected. What is the second step in your protocol, the one that starts to build that important bridge between our eyes and our body's movement?
This is a very important step. It is about rewiring the connection between how we see the world and how we move through it. The second technique is one of the most powerful ways we have to do this. It is called figure 8 eye tracing. To do this exercise, you can sit or stand comfortably. You extend one arm out straight in front of you with your thumb pointing up toward the ceiling. Then you begin to slowly and smoothly trace a large sideways figure 8, like the infinity symbol in the air, with your thumb. The most important part of this exercise is that you must keep your head perfectly still and follow the movement of your thumb with only your eyes. You will trace the shape for about 30 seconds in one direction, and then you will gently reverse the direction and trace it for another 30 seconds. This simple movement can make a profound difference in a person's confidence in their own body. I had a patient, a 77-year-old woman, who had become very afraid of walking outside by herself. She told me that she would often misjudge the height of a curb, or that she would stumble on a small crack in the pavement. She felt unsteady, and because of this, She had started to stay inside her home more and more. Her world was becoming smaller because of this fear of falling. We taught her this simple figure 8 tracing exercise. She did it every single day for just 1 minute while sitting in her favorite armchair. After about a month, she came back to my office and she told me that she had walked to the local library by herself for the first time in nearly a year. She said she felt more aware of the space around her, and her steps felt more confident and more sure. This simple eye exercise had helped to rebuild her confidence to move through the world again.
That is an amazing story, Doctor. And it's a perfect example of how this is not just an eye exercise, it is a powerful brain exercise. Let's talk about the science of what is happening. When your eyes are smoothly tracking your moving thumb like that, you are activating very specific and very complex circuits in your brain. Most importantly, you are directly stimulating a part of your brain located at the back of your head called the cerebellum. The cerebellum is your brain's master coordination center. It is responsible for your balance, for smooth, controlled movements, and for your sense of where your body is in space. As we age, the communication pathway between our visual system and our cerebellum can sometimes weaken. This is what can cause that feeling of being uncoordinated or of misjudging steps. The figure 8 exercise is a direct and gentle way to stimulate and strengthen this vital pathway. The study you mentioned from the journal Geriatric Physical Therapy is a great confirmation of this. It showed that these kinds of dynamic visual tracking exercises not only improved eye function, but also measurably reduced how much a person sways during a balance test. This is real physical fall prevention training that you are doing just with your eyes. Now I have a few practical questions, Doctor. How large should the figure 8 be?
It should be large enough that your eyes have to move to their comfortable outer limits, up, down, and side to side, but not so large that you feel any strain. You can imagine that you are drawing the shape on a large blackboard that is right in front of you.
And you mentioned that it's very important to keep the head still. Why is that so critical?
Because we want to isolate the work to the 6 small muscles that control the movement of each of your eyes. If you move your head to follow your thumb, then your neck is doing the work, not your eye muscles. The goal of this exercise is to train the eyes to move smoothly and independently from the head.
It is just incredible to think about this beautiful, intricate system of nerves and muscles that God has given us. And it is a true blessing to know that we can use these simple, intentional movements to help keep that system strong and in harmony. This is so practical and powerful. We love sharing this kind of information with our global community. To help us see our global community, please let us know what city, state, or country you are watching from. We love hearing from all of you. So the figure 8 eye tracing exercise is a fantastic way to train the coordination between our eyes and our brain's balance center. Doctor, what is the third and final step in your daily neurotraining protocol? You called this one the system reset.
Yes, our final technique is what I call gaze and grounding. It is less of a physical exercise for the eyes and more of a calming and resyncing of all the body's different balance systems. For many people, this is like a reset button for the brain when it feels overwhelmed. To do this, you can stand or sit upright in a comfortable and safe position. You then fix your gaze on a single stationary point at your eye level in front of you. It could be a spot on a wall, a mark on a window, anything that is not moving. You keep your eyes gently locked on that one point, and then you bring all of your attention down to the soles of your feet. Feel them making contact with the floor. Wiggle your toes inside your shoes. Very gently shift your weight slightly from side to side or from your heels to your toes. You do this for just 1 minute, all while keeping your gaze steady and breathing slowly and naturally. This is a very powerful practice for people who often feel overwhelmed or dizzy in busy environments. I had a patient, a man in his early 80s. He told me that he had started to avoid going to the grocery store or to his church's coffee hour after the service. He said that all the movement and the visual noise of other people walking around would make him feel very dizzy and unsteady on his feet. His world was shrinking because of this sensory overload. I taught him this simple gaze and grounding practice. He would do it for 1 minute every morning at home to start his day feeling centered. But more importantly, when he would start to feel that sense of overwhelm at the grocery store, he would stop his cart in the aisle, find a spot on a shelf to fix his gaze on, and just focus on the feeling of his feet on the floor for a few deep breaths. He told me it was like finding a quiet anchor in the middle of a storm. It allowed his brain to calm down and reset, and it gave him the confidence to stay in those busy places again.
That is an incredible story and a very practical tool for people to use in their daily lives. And the science of why it works is so fascinating. To maintain your balance, your brain is constantly taking in information from 3 different systems. It gets information from your visual system, what your eyes see. It gets information from your vestibular system in your inner ear, which senses motion and gravity. And it gets information from your proprioceptive system, the nerves in your feet and joints that tell your brain where your body is in space. When we get older or when we are in a busy environment, sometimes the signals from these 3 systems can get out of sync, like 3 different musicians all playing a different song. This is what causes that feeling of dizziness or disorientation. The gaze and grounding exercise is a beautiful way to gently force all 3 musicians to play the same song again. By keeping your eyes still on one spot, you are stabilizing your visual system. And by focusing all of your attention on your feet, you are amplifying the proprioceptive system. This allows the brain to recalibrate and resync all of the signals, which is why it feels like hitting a reset button. Now, doctor, this has been an amazing list of 3 simple, powerful exercises. But before we conclude, we absolutely must talk about safety. Are these 3 exercises safe for absolutely everyone?
That is the most important question. These exercises are very gentle, and they are safe for most people. The most important rule of all is to always listen to your body. You should never ever push through any sharp pain, and you should stop immediately if you feel severely dizzy or nauseous.
Let's ask about a few specific conditions that I know our viewers will be wondering about. What about for someone who has had recent eye surgery, like for cataracts or a detached retina?
For anyone who has had a recent surgery on their eyes, you must get full clearance from your ophthalmologist before you start any new eye exercises of any kind. That is non-negotiable.
And what about for people who have a diagnosed condition like glaucoma or a severe balance disorder like vertigo?
For a person with glaucoma, these gentle eye movements are generally safe. But again, it is always wisest to have a conversation with your eye doctor first to be sure. For a person who has a severe diagnosed vestibular disorder like vertigo, these exercises may be too stimulating at first. That person should be working with a qualified physical therapist who can guide them through the right vestibular rehabilitation exercises for their specific condition.
That is the perfect, responsible advice. It's about using these wonderful God-given tools, but doing so with wisdom, with care, and always in partnership with the medical professionals who help us to be good stewards of our health. Doctor, this has been an incredible guide. You've given us a complete 3-step daily neurotraining protocol. It shows that the key to better vision and balance is not just about getting stronger glasses or having stronger legs. It's about strengthening the vital connection between our eyes and our brain. We have the near-far shift for focus, the figure-8 tracing for coordination, and the gaze and grounding for a full system reset. This is a powerful, proactive approach to senior health. By practicing these simple 1-minute exercises every day, our viewers can take real meaningful steps to improve their balance and significantly reduce their risk of falls. This knowledge is so empowering and is a true cornerstone of good senior health. It is a practical daily way to invest in your balance and to maintain your confidence and your independence for all the years to come.
I want to leave everyone with this one final thought. Your body has not forgotten how to be balanced. It is simply waiting for you to practice. Balance is not a gift that you have or that you lose. It is a skill that you can always improve at any age. Your brain is still learning. Start small, be consistent with these gentle exercises, and you can remind your system of the stability that it already knows.
That is a beautiful and hopeful message, Doctor. Balance is a skill to be practiced. It's about being a good and wise steward of the incredible interconnected body that we have been blessed with. And of course, the wisest first step is always to speak with your personal doctor or a physical therapist before starting any new exercise routine, especially if you have a diagnosed balance disorder like vertigo. Please remember that our conversation today is for educational purposes. It is not a substitute for the direct medical advice from your own trusted healthcare provider. If you found this guide empowering and are excited to try these simple exercises, please give this video a like so that others can find this vital information. And be sure to share it with a friend or family member who might be worried about their stability as they age. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. It is completely free and it ensures you will not miss our next practical health guide. And for our community discussion today, we would love to know, which of these 3 simple exercises are you going to try adding to your morning routine? Please share your choice in the comments below. Your commitment can be an inspiration to our entire community. Thank you for being with us. Move with confidence and be well.